lot of intensity in the air to the ring announcer, Carlos Perez.
Julio Cesar Borboa de Sonora, México. Pelearán 12 asaltos, categoría Super Mosca, pesaje oficial Harold Gray, 115 libras. Julio César Borboa, 114 libras. Timekeeper, Fernando Ramos. Médico de la pelea, doctor Rubén Sabogal. Por la comisión de boxeo, aquí presentes Johnny Espinosa, Jorge López y Rafael Marrugo.
Introduction of the judges.
Coliseo, Bernardo Caraballo, Cartagena de India. Escuchamos las
Lopez, Bays, and Lopez, the judges here at ringside in Cartagena. And we now get set for both national anthems, the Mexican national anthem, then the Colombian national anthem. Next now, the Mexican national anthem. have been played. Now we're ready for some boxing. The IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. William Connors is our referee. Tail of the tape now for the championship. That, of course, was a fight from earlier. Victor Polo, a knockout winner over Salazar. Borboa and Harold Gray are very familiar with each other. Tail of the tape might not be so important, but the IBF rules: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, no saving by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. Harold Gray, a very sharp puncher, a very sharp boxer. Now to the tail of the tape, having been updated on the Cedar Kushner Sports Network. Harold Gray has the 1-inch reach advantage. Really not much to look at there in the tail of the tape, other than to possibly think those 2 years in age might make a difference. I don't think so. Borboa is not that much older than Gray. In fact, Borboa more seasoned as a professional maybe than Harold Gray. Borboa has been down before. Of his 5 losses, 2 of those have been by way of TKO. 1989, 1990, he was TKO'd by Joaquimo Gomez. Lost to Frankie Vivich in California. September of 91, lost to Joel Diaz. August of 92, and most recently, Julio Cesar Borboa's last loss was to Harold Gray. August 29, 1994, and losing the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Round 1 underway. Great to have you with us for this IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Harold Gray in the white trunks. Julio Cesar Borboa, white trunks with a thick blue stripe around the midsection and down the side. Blue stripe right down the side there, as you can see. Opening round scheduled for 12. Crowd clearly behind the champion Harold Gray. Colombia with a great boxing tradition. As a matter of fact, Caraballo, the man who this arena was named after, one of the first great champions in Colombia. Nice jumping left hand there by Borboa. Round 1 is well underway. Tail of the tape showed just a 1-inch reach advantage on behalf of Harold Gray. But when you look at these guys, it almost seems as though Gray has a more substantial reach advantage just by his boxing style. Neither fighter really willing to take any chances early in round 1. Guys have gone 12 rounds, so they should be familiar with each other's style, but as always, a lot of tension for a championship fight. Takes a few moments to break some of those kinks out. An inside shot there by Gray. Another good body shot by Gray. Confidence factor could go either way, as we mentioned in their first fight. Borboa wobbled Gray in the 11th round. Gray did come away with the decision, so Borboa knows he can hurt Gray. But Gray won. Nice jab there by Borboa. Finds the mark on the nose of Gray. Now the fighters open it up just a bit. Harold Gray being forced to fight here by Borboa. Nice little head fake there by Borboa. Strong right hand by Borboa. A nice left by Borboa. Borboa very focused here in round 1. Scoring the more decisive blows. Gray beginning to crank it up a little bit himself. Another left hand there by Borboa. Got a feeling it's going to be a long fight. It's going to be a hard fight to score. Round
asalto a nombre de Apuestas H. Rivero.
Look at action from round one. Borboa. See that lead right. He's going to come back with the left hand, folks, real quick. There it is. Those were two pretty good shots, maybe the best punches in round one for Borboa. Well, any nerves probably will have yielded to survival instincts at this point. See Borboa keeping his arms at his side, trying to conserve energy. Just a reminder, folks, very hot in the arena here in Cartagena. Round two underway. Harold Gray leading with the left hand. Borboa pays him back with the left of his own. Borboa gets Gray up against the ropes. Gray spins away. They say, you know, it's always tougher to keep the title than it is to get the title. Sometimes when you have some success, you see some complacency. Saw it a couple months ago. Harold Mestre went to South Africa. Bulelo Botie took the title from Mestre, another one of Colombia's champions. Here it's Harold Gray in the white trunks defending against Julio Cesar Borboa. Nice piston-like right left jab there by Harold Gray, scoring some major points there on the face of Borboa. Borboa trying to get that left hand in there. Gray backs off. Borboa, good posture. Gray, classic stand-up boxer. Couple body shots there by Harold Gray. Beginning to get that jab established. Another jab by Gray. Really working that left jab nicely. Borboa doesn't have an answer here in round two. Still a minute to go. Good right hand there by Borboa, but Gray pulled back. Another right there by Gray. Finding a rhythm here in round two, which he did not have in round one. Another nice combination from a distance by the champion Harold Gray. Big action round two. Overhand right by Gray. Didn't land, but he's scoring on some sharp punches inside. Right hand off the ear of Borboa. In the final 10 seconds here of round two now. Just going bonkers for their champion Harold Gray.
Este combate pactado a 12 vueltas entre el campeón colombiano Harold Gray y el retador mexicano Julio Cesar Borboa.
We're going to have to give Harold Gray round two, beginning to establish that left jab. Borboa off balance, not being able to counter that left jab, and in the first round the lead right by Borboa found the mark. Here, as the replay will show, Harold Gray keeping that jab action, trying to set up some right hands and working inside as well. So a good round for Harold Gray as he takes round two on our scorecard. Expected a very close fight here, folks, and that's what we're going to see. Round three. Harold Gray starting quickly once again with that jab. hoping that Gray fatigues at the end of this fight, just like he did in Los Angeles. But if that's going to put Borboa in a position to win, he's going to have to win by knockout, because you know down in Colombia, the hometown factor with Harold Gray being such a well-known, recognized figure down here. Harold Gray showing some good intensity here, scoring with combinations. Borboa not quite as quick as Harold Gray so far here in the first couple of rounds. Good stiff jab by Borboa, though. Straight in the head of Gray. There's a right-hand counter by Borboa. Harold Gray from a distance, trying to work the right hand there. Crowd really on the side of the champion Harold Gray. Nice counter left there by Borboa. Barely grazing the chin. Harold Gray, good inside punch, left hand by Borboa there. Good left hand by Borboa. Another left hand by Borboa. Gray seems susceptible to that left hand, that left hook. Good inside body work by Harold Gray. A minute to go in round 3. Harold Gray really has a nice jab. Beautiful left jab by Harold Gray. Sets up the right hand nicely. Some tape loose on the glove of Harold Gray. And the referee going to call a stop to the action here. We're only in round 3. The heat, humidity, perspiration. The corner of both fighters better have a couple rolls of tape handy for this one. Gray has really used that left jab nicely in this fight. Gray with the double jab. Trying to set up the right hand. Another double jab by Gray. Good body shot by Gray. 10 seconds to go in round 3. Nice lead right hand by Borboa. The bell rings. Fighters retreat to their corners. A very tough round to judge there. Very even fight. Neither fighter had much of an advantage. For what it's worth, we're going to give that round to the champion Harold Gray. But that, once again, very, very shaky in terms of who won that round. Look back to action in round 3. See the overhand punch there by Gray. Good body work by Gray there. Everything works off the jab for Harold Gray. Borboa, not really the same kind of fighter. There's a jab by Borboa, but Gray likes to double up on the jab and set up the right hand. This fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, and this is the 4th. There's the champion Harold Gray. Here's in pretty good shape. Borboa as well. Very hot once again inside the Coliseo. Bernardo Caraballo in Cartagena. Center of the ring. Gray works low with the left and goes high with the left. Nice lead left hand there by Borboa. Crunching right hand by Harold Gray. Borboa walks through it. That was a strong right hand by Gray. Good body shot inside by Gray. Gray can work the outside as well as he can work the inside. Good combinations by Harold Gray here in round 4. A good body shot by Gray. Gray just misses a right hand. That would have been huge. Lead right there by Borboa. That lead right is a punch Borboa seems to be able to hit anytime he wants to. Still a long way to go in round 4. Borboa turning the tide just a bit. Gray against the ropes. Good body shot by Borboa. Nice inside right by Borboa. A little mouse at the corner of the left eye. A little blood from the left eye now of Julio Cesar Borboa. Blood from the left eye of Borboa beginning to flow. Don't know if that was from a clinch of heads or whether it was from a punch. But round 4 action continues despite the blood from the eye of Borboa. Crowd in the corner of Gray want him to go after that eye. But Borboa has some pretty sharp punches. Nice body shot there. You saw Gray clutch the body. Good body shot by Borboa. What a war. This goes 12 rounds like this. We're going to see a classic. A spot shot from the outside. That's more of an abrasion than a bad cut on the left eye of Borboa. Half a minute to go in the 4th round. Borboa has sunk some pretty good body shots to the midsection of Harold Gray in round 4. Gray beginning to breathe heavily from the mouth. And we're still just in the 4th round. Nice left hand there by Gray. Half uppercut. Closing's good uppercut there by Borboa. Racks the head of Gray. Nice combination from the outside by Borboa. In the end of round 4. There you look at the champion Harold Gray. Once again, a very difficult round to score. Back to action in the 4th round. Gray, nice sharp right hand. Putting together some punches. Really not hurting Borboa at all, however. Nice uppercut inside Borboa. And Borboa hurt Gray to the body on a couple of occasions in round 4. From a different angle. Nice jabs there by Gray. See if we see the body shot of Borboa. I'm not sure if it's in this sweet sequence or not. And now that nice tight uppercut by Borboa. You could see the head of Gray shake backwards. Round 5 is underway. Gray late to come out. Once again, we're at the Caraballo Coliseo in Cartagena, Colombia. Championship boxing on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. This is the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. In the white trunks, the champion Harold Gray, and the white trunks with blue trim, the challenger Julio Borboa. And as we preach throughout our broadcast, the heat stifling in the Coliseum. Conditioning going to be very important in the latter rounds of this scheduled 12-round championship fight. Borboa has been 12 rounds on 3 occasions. Gray's last 3 fights all have gone the full 12-round distance. So both fighters have been in 12-round territory before. Gray, good right hand. Gray beginning to put some leverage on his punches. Borboa has to sense that Gray is trying to turn the heat up just a notch. And here Gray, for the first time in this fight, on his toes, dancing away. The jab by Gray, and once again he is on his toes. Could be a strategic move by Gray, trying to throw the tempo of Borboa off. You see the left eye of Borboa. Little blood around that eye last round from an abrasion. Not a very bad cut. There is no blood right now in round 5. Left hand there by Borboa. Gray continues to move away. I don't know if I like this strategy for Gray or not. Did pretty good in rounds 2 and 3 from a good leverage standstill position. So again, you can't get much power before your punches if you're moving backwards and moving away. It's more of a defensive posture. Borboa, nice straight right hand, and down goes Harold Gray, but he's going to say he slipped, and it is in that same corner where we've seen several fighters slip earlier in our card. Overhand right by Borboa. Anytime you go down, you got to be shocked. You see Harold Gray beginning to punch now, trying to recover from that slip. Borboa did hit him, though, well before he went down on that slip. Borboa began to feel a little tempo of his own. Nice sharp right hand by Borboa. Inside left by Borboa. Oh, ducking away from the left hand beautifully, Harold Gray. Harold Gray backing himself in a corner now in the closing seconds of round 5. Good counter right by Gray there. The end of round 5. And who do you give that round to? Every one of these rounds you have to question when you write it down on your scorecard. Who gets the nod in that round? I think by virtue of some pretty good fighting by Borboa towards the end of that round, I have to give Borboa the round. But once again, Harold Gray is the champion, and he is fighting in his home country. But with that round, we'll give it to Borboa, and that gives Borboa the 48-47 lead in this fight. See, there's a sharp right hand, and Gray went down because of the slip. See, he's clear-eyed looking up to the referee, but the right hand didn't land before the slip. Last 3 rounds have been very questionable as to who won them. To be able to sneak a peek at those judges' scorecards right about now. Gray trots out of his corner. The referee wants to dry the corners, and that's a pretty good idea. A lot of moisture, water being poured on the fighters, try to cool them down. And that can be dangerous because of slips. This is round 6, the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Julio Borboa against Harold Gray. See Borboa beginning to stalk a little bit, and there goes Harold Gray down again. And that was his own corner that he slipped in that time. See Borboa beginning to come forward again. See Borboa has raised his confidence level just a little bit here over the last couple of rounds. Neither fighter has gone down because of a punch, but both corners are very slippery. Goes Gray backing into his corner again. Pushes off. One minute has expired in round 6. Nice left jab there. A single left jab by Borboa, but pushes Gray back. Gray doing some moving. A little swelling over the eye now of Harold Gray, the champion. Inside left hand by Borboa. Right hand by Borboa. Right hand by Gray. Clubbing right hand by Borboa. You see the right eye of Harold Gray beginning to swell up just a bit. Gray firing a couple uppercuts. In their first fight, it was Borboa who was swollen and cut around both eyes. Gray faking to move in. Borboa has Gray against the ropes, under a minute to go in round 6. Borboa really beginning to put some heat on. Good counter right hand by Harold Gray. He dances away. these fighters prepared to keep this pace up for the full 12 rounds in 100-degree heat. Guess we're going to find the answer to that out pretty soon here. Gray and Borboa. Gray trying to get that jab going again, but Borboa continues to be the more effective aggressor here in this fight. I think a little bit of the momentum has gone towards the way of Borboa. Gray slips a little bit there as he backed up. Good uppercut by Borboa, scores. A right hand by Borboa, scores. Borboa begin to impose his will on Harold Gray. Good left counter by Gray. Right hand by Gray. Borboa keeps moving forward as Gray against the ropes in the closing seconds of round 6. I don't know if those counter shots by Harold Gray towards the end of that round were enough to change the scoring, but on my card, I again have to give that round to Julio Borboa. And he now has inched out to a 2-point lead. Back to action earlier in round 6. See, Gray was pulling away most of that round. Sharp right hand right on the button of Harold Gray. You couldn't see it, but you saw how it stopped him in his tracks. Just misses the uppercut there. And Borboa keeps firing as a counter. Right eye a little puffy of Harold Gray. Nothing to be concerned of. Both eyes actually a little puffy. Referee wants to have some of the grease and perspiration wiped off of Harold Gray. I have Borboa ahead 58-56 on my scorecard. Through 6 rounds, halfway through this championship fight. Julio Cesar Borboa in white, blue trim. Harold Gray in the white, no trim. Tape coming loose from the glove of both fighters, and both corners are going to have to do some house cleaning. Well, you know, when it's that hot, sometimes a fighter might like to see that tape come loose, and a corner might not tape the glove so tight in order to give his man some kind of edge. Gray backing up. Harold Gray started dancing in round 5. Started dancing away from Borboa. Actually in round 4. And it seemed at that point the fight has been Borboa's more as a leader. Now here's Gray coming back to more of a stationary boxing stance. A little less movement. Here he goes back again, moving around a little bit. But I think Gray is much more effective with Borboa when he's standing still. But then again, Borboa is countering. Gray trying to stay busy. Really nothing landing there by either fighter. Overhand right. Good looking punch from by Gray. Uppercut just misses by the champion. Overhand right. Off the left ear of Borboa. Nice counter right hand by Borboa. Harold Gray beginning to turn it around just a bit here in round 7. Maybe recognizing that this fight is very, very close. Maybe even he's slightly behind. Good combinations by the champion. Borboa not fighting back. Gray needing to establish a little bit of a left jab there as he dances against the ropes. Combination has Borboa flailing backwards. Borboa hurt just a bit. Gray, though, looking real strong in round 7. And now some swelling under the left eye of Borboa. Good hand quickness by Harold Gray. Really changing the pace of this fight here in round 7. Fighter taking a little time off there in round 7. Nice little left hand by Borboa. Gray has to hold. Gray's mouth is open. He's put out some energy here in round 7 trying to turn the tide. Borboa still on his feet. Gray pumping out that left hand. Good looking left hand this round by Harold Gray, the champion. Strong left hand there by the challenger Borboa. Gray moving, trying to stick and move. Borboa would like to have Gray up against the ropes. Gray has to keep moving now. And the end of round 7. Good round for the champion Harold Gray. Though it seems he tired near the end of that round, we got to give that round 7 to Harold Gray. And that draws this fight even tighter. 67-66 on my card in favor of Julio Cesar Borboa by 1 point. This fight has every indication that it might go the distance, 12 rounds. Back to earlier action in round 7. Harold Gray had Borboa backing up really deceptively there. No punches really landing, but Borboa giving the perception that he was yielding. And though there were no punches landed, that really has an impact in the judges' minds when a man retreats like that. And that brings Harold Gray. Once again, folks, very, very tough to score this fight. Rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 in my book were complete guesses. That tight, that even. Round 7, it seemed Harold Gray began to put some combinations together, and here we are, round 8, scheduled for 12 for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Nice lead right there by Borboa. Eighth round here, both fighters a little cautious to start out, maybe trying to conserve some energy. Borboa used to own the IBF Junior Bantamweight belt that is now in the possession of Harold Gray. Borboa defended it 5 times successfully before losing to Harold Gray in August of '94. And really, Borboa went all over the country, all over the world to defend that title. Won the title in Texas, defended it in Mexico, Montana, Mexico, California, South Africa, then lost the title in California once again to Harold Gray. Round 8, nice overhand right there by Borboa. Gray trying to stay busy. On the inside, both fighters trying to score. No blow there by Harold Gray. No indication from the referee if he saw that or not. Maybe the least amount of action in any round here in round 8, but obviously the fighters still moving. Just no punches, no accuracy on the punches. Nice little combination. No damage done, but scoring points is the champion Harold Gray. Upstairs, downstairs, Harold Gray moves that left hand. Nice inside shot there by Julio Cesar Borboa. Overhand right off the mark from Gray. Gray begins to retreat. Borboa pushing forward. Nice left hand by Borboa. Body shot by Borboa. Harold Gray up against the ropes. Does not want to be there. Nice stiff left hand by Borboa. Another left hand by Borboa. Gray fighting back with a lot of guts, but really not effective with those punches. Borboa lunges ahead with a left hand. It's off the mark. Gray misses poorly with the left hook there. Misses again with the left hook. Double jab by Gray. Finds nothing but air. Closing moments of round 8. Once again, a very difficult round to score. Nice inside shot there by Borboa. Overhand right by Harold Gray. Another right by Gray. And the end of the round. Another pick'em round, but I'm going to give it to the champion Harold Gray. Harold Gray has a very unique knack for sensing when he needs to do something, sensing when he might be losing the edge, He fought back courageously in round 8. A replay of earlier action. Borboa as Gray against the ropes. There you see Gray fighting off. Now granted, not a lot behind the punches by Harold Gray, but as he did early in round 8, some nice little combinations probably scored points in the eyes of the judges. See the swelling around the eyes of Harold Gray. Still, it's noticeable, but should not have an impact on the fight. Borboa trying to shake his hands out. The referee now allows the boxers to box. Increased intensity here in round 9. 4 rounds to go. The IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship is on the line. And through the first 8 rounds on our scorecard, we have this fight dead even, 77-77. 4 rounds for Borboa, 4 rounds for Harold Gray. But again, every one of the rounds from round 3 on has been very, very tight. Very competitive, and there's another slip. Sooner or later, someone's really going to get hurt. Crowd in uproar. Telling the corner to get in there and try it out. There you see a man in the corner of Borboa reaching in, trying to dry off that corner, trying to dry off that canvas. Nice little uppercut inside Borboa. Borboa looking to counter the jabs of Harold Gray, and Harold Gray beginning to look a little fatigued. The punches coming from the outside just a bit. Gray backing up. Doesn't want to be against the ropes. Once again, Borboa not throwing any punches. There's a short left hand. Finds the mark on the chin of Gray. Right hand missed by the champion Harold Gray. Looping left hand by Borboa scores. Overhand right by Gray off the mark. Tape coming loose on the glove of Borboa, and another timeout by the referee. Another loop of tape around that glove. These fighters will go at it once again. We are in round 9, under a minute to go. The IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Crowd trying to urge Harold Gray on, but he's not punching. Missing with the right hand. Borboa slipping the punches nicely. Little talking going on in the ring. Nice right hand by Borboa over the top. Under 30 seconds to go in the 9th round. A very difficult round to score. Neither fighter really with any effective blows in round 9. You have to wonder who the judges will give the edge to in this round. I mean, this round was dead even in my book. Neither fighter with much of an edge. Neither fighter putting on any kind of move at the end of the round. There it is, the end of round 9. Borboa holds his hands up, but once again, a very, very tight round. 3 rounds to go for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship.
Colombia ante el retador mexicano Julio Cesar Borboa. Cartagena que se organiza.
It's a good thing the referee is taking some liquids, because he is sweating bullets. Look at him. William Connor just sweating bad. like a sauna. Coliseo Bernardo Caraballo. All our crew down there probably could use a little weight loss. Not really, folks. And it is hot. Round 10 underway. And right now, this fight is dead even. 3 rounds to determine the IBF Junior Bantamweight champion. And if Harold Gray can fight evenly over these last 3 rounds, I would think that he will retain his title. Borboa might need to pour on something here. Very tight rounds through rounds 2 through 9. Very, very tight rounds. And you never know how the judges at ringside are going to view the fight. Harold Gray scores with a right hand, swelling around both eyes of Harold Gray. Borboa waving him in. Mocking Harold Gray now, trying to egg him into a mistake. Harold Gray is smart. He won't bite. This uppercut inside by Borboa slows Gray down. Gray against the ropes now. That uppercut might have caught Gray. Right hand by Borboa. I think Borboa senses that he might have a little more fuel right now than Harold Gray. Harold Gray dancing away in round 10. Gray, Bobby moving, still has some energy left, as does Borboa. Gray not punching, though, in round 10. Nice right hand by Borboa. Borboa has scored a couple good, strong shots. There's the right hand by Borboa. Forces Gray to hold on. Gray has his mouth open. The right eye swelling. Gray retreating. Gray has never tasted defeat as a professional. And he's in a dogfight right now in the 10th round. You see Borboa trying to tease Harold Gray. We have some tape loose on the glove of Borboa, and the referee steps in once again. For the 4th time this fight, the referee has stopped a round to enable a corner to put more tape on the glove. Comes Borboa again in round 10. Harold Gray, the champion. You see there's another slip. And one of the reasons you see there the water on top of paint. There is paint on the canvas. And that obviously is going to make for a very, very slippery ring surface. The water just sitting on top of the paint. Very dangerous surface. Maybe some rosin should be put down or something. But at this point, we're in the middle of a championship fight. IBF World Championship fight. 20 seconds to go in round 10. Hopefully the slippery surface has not favored either fighter. I don't think it has. Harold Gray buys a left hand from Borboa. Gray looking a little shaky here in round 10. Borboa putting on some heat in the closing seconds. Chasing Gray around the ring. The end of round 10. And you can see the canvas just glistening with water on top of paint. And we have 2 rounds to go, 6 minutes of boxing to go. And does Harold Gray have enough to retain his championship? I have to give the last round to Borboa, so he inches ahead by 1 point. 97 to 96. 2 rounds to go. You see the corners of both fighters. A look now at the slip. Harold Gray, the right foot gave way on that white portion of canvas, which is painted with water on top. And here, elsewhere in round 10, Borboa, the leaping left hand right off the nose of Gray. And has Borboa done enough? That's the other question we have to ask. Does Gray have much left, and has Borboa done enough to take the title back from Harold Gray? The last fight these 2 fighters had back in August of '94, a controversial decision. At least in the mind of Borboa, it was controversial as he lost the title by decision to Harold Gray. 2 rounds to go. A I would think if either fighter goes down because of a knockdown, they would lose unless they could pay back their opponent. Still anybody's fight, though on our scorecard we have a 1-point Borboa lead, but can't stress enough that the judging of this fight has been very, very difficult. Very competitive, very well-matched fighters. Harold Gray trying to go flat-footed a little bit. Good left hand there by Borboa. Another left by Borboa. A right hand by Borboa. Borboa seems to be the fresher of the two fighters right here in round 11. Again, we see a little tape coming loose. Nice left hand by Borboa. Gray beginning to hold on just a bit. You can see the fans in the background trying to cheer the hometown guy on, the home country man, Harold Gray from Colombia. I almost tell Borboa feels that he has to force the issue here just a bit. He is not the champion. You never know. Challenger, very tough to get a decision unless he's a clear-cut winner. And this has not been clear-cut whatsoever. Harold Gray trying to muster some energy here for an assault in round 11. Borboa misses the overhand right. Once again, Harold Gray inside, missing with a combination. Gray still has a little head movement, and that's good. Borboa comes forward. Gray now. Couple jabs. Good right hand there by Gray. Another left hand by Borboa. Gray moving away. Double jab by Gray. Does not land. Once again, Gray into a corner. Borboa trying to load up with some power shots. Nice little inside left hand by Borboa. Another left hand by Borboa. Gray beginning to skate around the ring on that moisture. Another good shot there by Borboa. Good body shot by Borboa. Harold Gray has been retreating most of this 11th round. Nice tight little left hand by Gray. And once again, for the 5th time this fight, you wonder why duct tape isn't being used because of the humidity and moisture. The more tape you put on there, the heavier those gloves are going to feel. That's for sure for these guys with a little more than 1 round to go here in round 11. Julio Cesar Borboa and Harold Gray. Rematch of their classic encounter of 1994. This one has not been disappointing. And you see Borboa slipping a bit there. Hard to put any leverage on your punches if you have no base. Now you see Borboa crouching down a little bit, trying to maybe gain a little leverage. Gray missing. Gray has not connected a punch this round. Borboa coming forward. Gray retreating once again, trying to stick and move, but Gray is not letting his hands go. Gray is not punching in round 11. I don't see how you can give the round, even if he is the champion, if he's not punching. There you go. Look at him slide back, though. Might as well be on ice skates in an ice skating rink. But a very, very tough round to call again. But we're going to give that one to Borboa. So on our scorecard, which is the ultimate unofficial scorecard, we have Borboa ahead 107-105. But there's no way of knowing if that's the way the judges have it at ringside. And it would not be a surprise to me if Harold Gray is in front on the scorecards. So for the 4th time in his last 4 fights, the champion Harold Gray will be pushed to the 12-round limit. Harold Gray has not had a knockout win since May of '94. The last time Borboa went 12 rounds was against Harold Gray in August of '94. Prior to that, Harold Gray went 12 rounds against Joel Luna in May of '93 and won a 12-round decision. Fighters touch gloves. Has to be mutual respect between these two gladiators. The crowd on their feet. Intensity rising in the final round. Once again, the ring is a slippery mess from water, perspiration, humidity, and paint. Borboa, good counter right hand. Good left hand there by Borboa. Stopped Gray in his tracks. That slowed Gray down. Borboa not capitalizing, though, not moving forward, giving Gray an opportunity to regroup. Harold Gray ducks away from the left hand of Borboa. Gray again retreating. Nice inside left hand by Borboa. Another left hand by Borboa. Overhand right. Harold Gray really not showing a lot of punching ability here in round 12, though he's got all kinds of heart. Approaching the midway point in the 12th and final round. Hard to tell if anyone's hurt because of the slippery nature of the canvas. Gray beginning to try to turn it around, but he is sliding all over the place. Borboa and Gray. Lots of heart in the ring. Gray almost falls from a slip. Borboa moves forward. Borboa sliding all over the ring. Good right hand by Borboa, but Gray turns him around. Harold Gray's got tremendous courage. Still has some bounce left. That's swelling on the forehead of Harold Gray right now. In the closing minute of this IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship fight. Borboa now has Gray cornered, but Gray comes out nicely. Smart move by the champion to get out of that corner. Borboa misses a left hand. Gray dancing away. I wonder if Gray thinks he's got this fight won. You never know. Borboa trying to corner Harold Gray. Gray spins around again. Good boxing move by the champion. Take away the advantage from Borboa, who sneers at Gray now as he chases him into the ropes. Side shot there by Borboa, off the mark. Harold Gray trying to counter. Gray looking like a martial artist there, spinning around. Good body shot by Borboa, closing seconds of this fight. Both fighters raised their arms, and you know what, folks? Who knows who won? This fight was close from the opening moments through the final bell. Harold Gray is the champion. Julio Cesar Borboa, the former champion. Borboa, the #1 ranked contender by the IBF and #10 ranked by the WBC. Harold Gray is the IBF champion. Harold Gray being interviewed in the ring right now. See, is there a new IBF Junior Bantamweight champion, or has Harold Gray successfully defended his title for the 3rd time? A replay. You see the slippery conditions on the canvas. Standing by in the ring, our ring announcer Carlos Perez with the official decision. Good balance there. Good defensive move by Harold Gray as he spun around. The Gray corner feels they won. The Borboa corner feels they won. To the ring announcer for the decision.
Protagonizado por dos colosos del deporte de las narices chatas, el boxeo. Harold Gray de Colombia, Julio César Borboa de México. Momentos de expectativa.
Drama in Cartagena right now. A lot of hearts pumping. There is the bell. people around the ring announcer, Carlos Perez. We still await the official decision.
Decisión dividida. Ganador.
Harold Gray successfully defends his IBF Junior Bantamweight World Championship, a split decision winner over the #1 contender Julio Cesar Borboa. Once again, Borboa goes home disappointed. Harold Gray, with the trophy above his head, successfully defends. Larry Michael with you now from Cartagena, Colombia. Thanking you for joining us